What's up, everybody? Resale Rabbit here, and this is the second video of an unplanned series. That's right, an unplanned series. This is turning into a series. What should I sell on eBay? And I didn't plan on making this a series. So, this video is going to be interesting. Watches. Watches. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Rabbit, man, I don't know watches. I'm new to selling on eBay, and I just don't know. You may be a watch expert. Clearly, you're a chicken clock expert. I don't know watches. Well, neither do I. I don't know anything about watches. I know Rolex is a really good brand. That's about the extent of my watch knowledge. That is it. So, this is going to be watches for novices. This isn't like Craigslist Hunter. And by the way, if you're new here, I mentioned him a lot. Craigslist Hunter is my favorite reselling YouTuber. Much better than the crap that I put out. Go check him out. But this guy is a pro with watches. He will go and spend like $400 on a watch, and it'll be sold like instantly for a nice profit. That's not what I'm talking about. I would never be able to spend $400 on a watch because I have no idea what watches are worth. This guy will go and he'll say, I'm not going to pretend to do his accent. That'll just end up offensive and bad. But he will pick out a watch. He'll say, I don't know anything about this brand. He'll say, there are no comps on eBay. I spent $150 on it, and 2 days later it sells for $600. I don't know how this guy does it, but this guy is a pro when it comes to watches. It's Craigslist Hunter if you're just tuning in. I am not that knowledgeable about watches. Just like the last video, shoes and clocks. I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff. I am just showing you what I'm finding that's worth money and what you should look for when you don't know anything about watches. So, what I'm looking for are cheap watches. I rarely spend more than $1 on a watch. A lot of thrift stores will have near the jewelry counter $1. Someone just asked if Craigslist Hunter is Russian. He is Polish, actually. So they will, I think. Craigslist Hunter, I'm pretty sure you're Polish, but if I'm not, or if you're not, then well, I'm sorry. Anyways, two thrift stores in town here have a dollar bin for watches. You know, just basic junk. I'm always digging through it. You'd be surprised what you can find in there. I'm not looking for brands. You're not going to find a Rolex in there or anything, but you can find some cool stuff. And that's what I go for. I'm all about cool and weird stuff, if you couldn't tell in the last video with the chicken clock. So let me show you some watches that I have listed and haven't sold, but you'll see why I picked them out. Here is one that is having trouble focusing. It's got the day and night thing on it. I thought it looked unique, so I looked it up. Some from this brand are selling for decent money. I think I have this listed for like $10 at this point. It has been on here forever and it's not selling. I honestly don't know what I have this listed at, but it's probably pretty cheap. But again, paid $1. Actually, this money is going to come out of a storage unit. This is one that I know will at some point sell. It has Dell and Intel on it. It's kind of cool. It's a silicone band. The watch actually comes out. I listed it about a month or two ago, 5-day auction starting at $100 just to see if there was any interest. Didn't get any bids, so now it is fixed price $100. I thought it was cool, it was unique, and it has logos on it, Dell and Intel. So that is the next thing to look for. Anything that has a company logo, something that might have been given out to employees, can be worth money. There is an Apple Watch that is, I think it's from 93. Not an Apple Watch like the techie ones that we use now with our phones. I'm talking like a watch like this that has the Apple logo on it I think it's from 93, and it's worth like $5,000, and it's the coolest watch ever. If I ever found it, I'm not sure I could sell it. But that thing's worth $5,000. So if that's worth $5,000, I'm sure there are others out there. Here's another one that I actually sold. I'm gonna have to flip you around because you can't see that. Right here, I sold it for $70. This did sell. It's shipped out. I got positive feedback from it. It is a Texaco watch from the gas station. I got this in a storage unit. It was given out to employees at Texaco. This thing sold for $70. I believe it was listed for $100. Hey, look at my thumb. I believe it was listed for $100, and I ran a sale that day or something like that. So anything that has a brand name on it. Someone asked, what about shipping? Mostly ship first class. They're under 16 ounces. If you are shipping a high dollar item, you might want to pay for insurance and maybe signature confirmation. But if you're selling a watch like this one for $10, I am going to throw this in a bubble mailer and ship it out like that. Maybe a little bit of bubble wrap. That's about it. So another watch that you're going to want to look for that you're going to see quite often, and I think I may have posted this in another video, are Mickey Mouse watches. Almost every Mickey Mouse watch, you know, the ones where his hands are up and that's how he tells the time, those ones are usually worth money. They're not worth a lot, $25 to $50 for most of them. But hey, if you're paying $1, who can complain? Now let me show you a couple that I found today. I was digging through the watch bin and I had 5 of them or maybe 4 of them out. I don't have any of this. Oh, my battery's getting low, so I'm going to have to make this quick. I don't have any of this newfangled technology that's probably free and easy to use, but I'm too lazy to look it up. I am going to just show you pictures on my phone. Let's see. In the camera. Oh, that's right. I was going to look that up. So the first one that I looked up, let's flip this around so you can see it. The first one that I looked up is this Kellogg's U.S. Olympics watch. The reason I looked it up is because it is the Olympics. It's got the Kellogg's logo on it, and that face looks kind of different. So I looked that up, and it wasn't really worth anything at all, but it was at least worth looking up. The next one was another one of those Mickey Mouse watches. This is the first one I've ever found that wasn't worth anything. There's only one listed for about $15 and free shipping, no solds for that particular model. It was all plastic. It looked like something that came out of a cereal box. Still worth looking up, but not worth selling. And then this one I thought was cool. Batman. Again, not worth anything, but it was at least worth looking up. So now you kind of get an idea of the type of stuff that I'm looking for. I don't know what you guys are posting here, but I keep seeing message retracted on the comments in the live stream. But anyways, so those were the 3 that I passed on. Let me show you the 2 that I got. The first one was this watch, Dick Tracy. Now, I didn't know that this was Dick Tracy. I saw it said Walt Disney on the back, so I wrote Walt Disney Detective into eBay until I saw that logo. And that's how I knew it was Dick Tracy. So you don't need to know what all this stuff is. I had no idea what that is. I looked up Dick Tracy. This one could not find anything when I looked up Dick Tracy watch. But then I looked up Dick Tracy Tiger, which is the brand that makes it. They're a toy company. And let me show you what I found. Dick Tracy Tiger. Here we go. So the first one that I see here, oh, I gotta flip this camera around again. We're gonna flip this. The first one that I found is this $45. These are, of course, active listings and really not much else. Let's go and take a look at sold listings. Let's see, sold items. We've got a bundle that has this one in it for $42. That one's new, $65. And that's something else. This one is the same thing, $85, also brand new. So there really aren't any used ones. So I think I can get about $35 to $40 for this watch. Or so I thought. I bought this watch. Like I said, I paid $1 for it. It was in the watch bin. So it says, look up Rolex watches. They're easy to get at times. Yeah, I hear you can buy them from Mexico for like $100. They're fake. Don't do that. So I looked this up. It was worth buying, in my opinion. It was a bit of a gamble. I took it to a watch shop, a jeweler, to have the battery replaced. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. And one of the screws is too rusted. He couldn't get it open. If you watch College Picker, that's where you'd hear the trombone. So I'm going to list it for parts for probably like $15, $20. Still good money. I mean, you spend $1 for $15, $20. Can't complain there. But I did have one other that I found. You guys are going to like this. I saved this one for last on this video. Look at this watch. Nintendo Super Mario Brothers 3. There's a date on here somewhere. 1990. There's a little game on there. I don't know how to play it. I was messing around with it a little bit. Got a brand new watch battery in it. And let me show you what this one. Remember, I only paid $1 for it. There we go. Super Mario Brothers 3. I looked up Super Mario Brothers 3 watch. And we're going to filter to sold items. And I have to flip this camera around again. First one here, sold for a best offer $112. That one's a little different. Sold for only $32. Here's a set for $75. Here's a single one with the box for $75. Here's a single one that's $50, $45, $47, $53, $59, $69, but they took a best offer, $48. I only paid $1 for that watch, and it's cool. This thing is really cool. Don't keep you waiting. I didn't see your comment. Send it again. Brand new battery. I'm gonna list this for $79.99 on eBay, and we'll see what it goes for. It is made by a company called MZ Burger Company Inc. I honestly didn't look any of that up. I just looked up Super Mario Brothers 3 watch. Pick with Joy says you're about to sell one just like it. Awesome. Sell it for higher than what I'm selling it for, so they buy mine first. So that is the tip today. If you don't know what to look for when you're out in the thrift stores, look for cheap watches. Just look through the dollar bin of watches. You'd be surprised what you can find. One more watch that you're going to want to look for, and I've actually never found one of these. You know, I've got one laying around here somewhere. Oh, here we go. It was just coincidental that it happened to be sitting next to me. Calculator watches. Now this one is just a cheap off-brand one. It's made by National Geographic, I think. It says Wild Planet. I'm not sure. This one probably not going to go for much. This is going to be probably like 10, 15, 20 bucks. I got it at the Goodwill outlet. However, if you find older Casio calculator watches, I believe there are some other brands that made them, but they're just like this in practice. They can go for hundreds of dollars. So that's when you definitely, even just walking past the jewelry cases, just look for an old calculator watch. You'd be surprised how much they go for. Now, they're not all going for hundreds. Some are 50, 75, some are 5,000. Well, I don't know about 5,000, but at least 500. So that is what to look for today. If you don't know what to look for, so Steven says, shh, you don't want to buy calculator watches. Yes, you do, Steven. Don't be greedy. Are you still selling on Amazon FBA, or have you stopped now? I am selling on Amazon, but in a different capacity than I used to, and on a much smaller scale. In fact, today I think my sales are only like 30 bucks. Very different side of the business, and I'm not putting a ton of effort into it, a couple hours a week. So anyways, watches. If you don't know what to look for, if you don't know watches, that's okay. You don't need to know watches. I don't know watches. I don't know brands of watches other than Rolex and these chintzy little ones that have collectible value. Anytime you see one with a TV show or a video game, look it up. Even if it looks cheap, this thing looks like it came out of a Cracker Jack box in 1990, and it very well might have. But it's $100 or 80 bucks is what they're selling for. As far as getting batteries in them, use your best judgment. It cost me $8 to put a battery in. Someone asked, how do I know they're not fakes? I suppose it's not impossible that they're going to fake something like this. However, most fake watches are going to be watches that people buy for vanity reasons. People want the fancy brand name and so on and so forth. This is just a vintage toy. It's no different than, you know, one of the old Bop It games that sells for like 20 bucks on eBay, or you know, any other vintage toy. People really aren't faking vintage toys. I suppose it's out there, but you know, anything can be fake these days. But anyways, you're gonna look for things based on video games, on TV shows, on movies, on characters, anything that looks weird or different in some way. Businesses, look them up. If you're getting it for $1, take the gamble. If there are no comps like this one, there is nothing like this watch on eBay, and it's only $1, buy it, because you never know what it might go for or who's looking for it. As far as replacing batteries, use your better judgment. I'm not going to replace a battery on a watch that's like this one. Is probably going to sell for about 15 bucks. This one, at this point, I'm happy getting 10 bucks for it. I'm not going to replace batteries on those. However, this one, where I'm seeing it has a sales history, it is selling, and it's selling for decent money, I'm paying the $8. I brought this to a jeweler and they put a battery in. I did no work. I don't want to mess anything up. I did ask him to look at it first, if it looks too corroded or like it might not work. But anyways, for $8, I'm putting a battery in this because that means I can mark it up higher. A customer now sees that it works and doesn't need to go through the hassle of buying a new battery. They're going to pay more for that one than a different one. So that's all I've got for today. Watches. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and next time I find something interesting, I guess I'll do the next installment of this unplanned series. See you guys later.